Okay guys, today we're going to talk about creating a color splash. So let's see what we can do. The first step is we are going to open up our picture in Photoshop. So we're going to go to File, Open, and this is where you're going to pick your picture. So really quickly, I'm just going to grab a picture. Let's see what we want to use. Okay, and in the spirit of Christmas, we'll use this one. Okay, so this is a picture with my youngest daughter last year on Santa's lap. So let's look at this picture. Now remember, the first time you create any kind of like modification in Photoshop, we want to adjust the levels. So I'm going to go up here to Image, Adjustments, Levels, and I'm just going to do a quick pull in order to get the colors I like the best. So I'm going to press OK because I like that. It's pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to come here to the bottom, and I am going to right click, duplicate my layer because that hasn't changed. So I'm going to press OK, and I'm actually going to hide my background layer because just in case I ever want to revert back to the old image, I have it saved right there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer mask onto my picture. So I'm going to add my layer mask, and you can see that everything here is white right now. That's going to change, so keep that in mind. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to turn my layer black and white. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, sorry, I gotta make sure my picture is clicked. Image, Adjustments, black and white. I'm gonna press OK. Okay, so right now what I have is a black and white picture with a layer mask, which is right here. So black and white picture with a layer mask. And I'm actually going to turn this layer back on because I want to be able to see the color underneath. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure this white background, okay, is selected. And I am going to pick a black paintbrush. So I changed my foreground color to black. My background color is white by simply clicking the switch arrow. See? Okay, if I need to change the color any further, I could double click and I could just come all the way down here to black. And if you notice, black 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use my paintbrush tool. I'm going to select it. I'm going to play with my brushes. So I'm just going to click on general brushes so I can have an idea. And what I'm looking for is I would like a softer brush. So I'm going to grab a soft brush preset. Okay, and I'm going to change the size here so I've got a little bit more to work with. Okay, so that looks good. And I'm just going to close this up. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make sure this white area is selected, and I'm going to zoom in to what I want to put color back into. So I'm going to put color back into his suit. And all I'm doing is I am painting black. Okay, so you can see it start to show up here. And anywhere that I want to put the color back in. So I'm just going to do this really quickly so you guys can see kind of the effect. So I'm just quickly following all the red areas on a suit, and with that soft brush it gives you a little bit more leeway. That way if you don't go quite up to the edge like you want it to, you can like fudge it and it still looks good. So I'm going to quickly fill in his hat. Okay, and I'm going to fill in his pants, and I'm just going to do a larger brush so we can get through this rather quickly. So here's his pants. You know, his red shirt underneath. Pants. And now you're going to zoom in to get some of those other smaller areas. So like our brush right now is way too big. Okay, and I'm going to fill this in really quick up here. Now, say you do something you don't want. Like, uh-oh, my brush slipped and I got a line there. Or if you look at her face, you know, there's a little bit of a line. What I'm going to do is I can switch this back to white. And I can paint white into those areas that I don't want color. So like in his beard a little bit. And all of that jazz. Now, if we turned this off, ooh, so I just press Control I. That's my inverse. This lets me check to see where I did a good job and where I did a bad job. So I'm going to press Control I again. And now I kind of know where I need to go back. Do you see all those spots that I missed? Whew. Okay, so I got to make sure my black's turned on. Or in this case, you would actually use your white. Okay, and you would clean it up. Okay, so then when I switch it, it looks better. Do you see that? Okay, when you are all done, okay, you're going to go to File, Save As, and you're going to save it in your drive. So this is my drive, and I'm going to label this MacArthur Color Splash, and I'm going to save it once as a PSD. Press OK. And then the next time, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to go File, Save As. Oh, sorry, it's still saving. File, Save As. And this time I'm going to change it to a JPEG. That way if I ever want to open up my color splash again and edit it, I have the Photoshop version to edit it from. So I'm going to press save. And this is the one that I'm going to upload to Schoology. Now, once you do one of my stock pictures, because I'll have a folder with stock pictures for you to choose from, then you need to pick one of your own pictures and do it yourself. Happy hunting!